He would have a cane. He has cerebral palsy.
No, you come in. He drove up as close as he could to the door so he didn't have to walk as far because he has the cane. I told him to come on inside and he finally agreed.
Meet Dustin McPhetridge. He's 26 years old, divorced, suffers from cerebral palsy, and collects Social Security benefits. He's driven 5 hours to have sex with a girl posing as a 13-year-old.
Keep that in mind. 5 hours one way to meet a 13-year-old, and he drove himself. Keep those 3 facts in mind when you start feeling sorry for him, if you do.
As you'll find out, this isn't his first time chatting inappropriately with a minor. Our decoy Casey starts to feel sorry for him as she watches him struggle to get out of the car. But then she remembers what he'd been saying online.
When you listen to him talking, he really is no different. He still is wanting to have sex with a little girl.
Using the screen name Wrestling Dude East Tennessee,
By the way, it's going to come up in a minute, but I feel so bad for Ricky Morton. He was one of the people in the, was it the Rock and Roll Express? Yeah, Rock and Roll Express, Ricky and Robert. It was Ricky Morton, which is the blonde one, and Robert Gibson, who was the darker haired one. And they were just these absolute legends in the 80s in the Southern wrestling territories. Oh my God, they were like the hottest tag team ever. And you know, if you listen to Jim Cornette, he will just, you know, gush about how great the Rock and Roll Express were. And I agree, they were great, and they were kind of, you know, well, not really kind of, they were the inspiration for the Rockers. So really the Rock and Roll Express made, you know, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty a thing, which is crazy. And I always wondered if there was a Rock and Roll Express versus the Rockers match, because they were both incredibly good, and the Midnight Express that Cornette managed was amazing too. So when he brings up his friend that does wrestling, he's talking about Ricky Morton. Oh no, well, it was way past Ricky's prime, honestly, because this is in the 2000s, not the 80s. So yeah.
he asks the girl if he could be her first at sex.
What have you done with a guy?
Nothing.
Wow. So I'd be your first at everything?
Yeah.
After he tells the decoy about his disability, he moves on to talking about anal and oral sex. He asks if he can shave her private parts and later makes a rather bizarre request.
Send me a pair of your panties. Pick a pair you want me to have and wear them for 2 or 3 days straight.
That's so gross. Oh God. Not only is that unsanitary, that's just nasty, bro. Just 2 or 3 days wearing panties for even an adult woman would just be like fishy and gross and just nasty. Just God, bro, you don't know what you're asking for. That shit's nasty, even if it's a adult woman. You know, that's the only experience I would have. And you know, when women don't wash down there, it really gets funky and nasty, and they just, the pants come off and it's like boom, it just hits you in the fucking face. Oh God. I'm going to hell for that, aren't I?
For reals?
Yeah.
He
It
also
just hit you in the face like a freaking tennis racket from Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette just whacks you in the face with a tennis racket when they haven't washed down there in 2 or 3 days. Oh God.
asks her if he can have a three-way with the decoy and her sister, and he repeatedly asks the girl to marry him. When they make a plan to meet, he tells her he'll bring an electric razor. KBI Commissioner...
Bro, the way he's so shaky, he's shakier than Michael J. Fox. I would not want him to be shaving or using any type of razor near anyone, including himself. He'd end up like Stan from It. Just, you know, like his wrist would be just like scrubbing. Like, I mean, if it was him in the movie It would basically be him with like the electric razor on the floor. Oh God, it's so dark. He would have the electric razor on the floor and like on the wall, instead of saying Ed or Pennywise, it would say Chris Hansen. I'm going to hell. I really am. I have to be. This is terrible. I'm horrible.
David.
I'm making fun of a crippled man. This is terrible. Well, I mean, look at what we are making fun of too at the same time. By the way, this guy's probably one of the worst when it comes to the aftermath part of this video. So I don't feel bad making fun of him at all.
James watches on a monitor as McPhetridge comes into the house.
You first look at him and you see him, and you could say that I felt a little bit sorry for him, a little bit. And then you remember why we're here. You know, whether he has cerebral palsy or not, he still was there to molest a child.
That's pretty cool, right?
Skip ahead a bit.
Do with them? I was kind of confused.
I'll show you later.
Can you just tell me, please? I won't come here if you don't tell me.
I thought you was wanting to be shaved.
Look at that face. The way he said it, it's just, oh God. Oh God. It just made me, oh God. Oh God. Okay. Hear it again.
I was kind of confused.
I'll show you later.
Can you just tell me, please? I won't come here if you don't tell me.
I thought you was wanting to be shaved.
Look at that look on his face. Just come on, man. Just good God.
Down there.
Is that what you wanted to do?
He said that to someone's face. It don't matter if she's grown or not. Just the way he said that and just said that to someone's face. Just that makes it even worse no matter what age the girl is.
Yeah, that's what you wanted to.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of nervous. I'd rather, like, talk about it first so I kind of know. You know what I mean?
What do you want to talk about, sweetie?
Well, like, tell me what you're going to do so I'm, like, kind of prepared.
It's just easier to explain it as we go along before I do it.
Well, like, what would you do first?
I don't know. I'd like to hold you
And then what?
and kiss you. That's why I was asking you to come over here.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but
Yeah, I won't force you to do anything, sweetheart.
He keeps calling her sweetheart. Just, ugh. But here comes the great payoff. Let's go.
So I
Ah,
hate
look at that face. He's like, uh-oh.
to be the bearer of bad news.
Well, I wasn't going to do nothing.
You weren't going to do anything.
No.
Why don't you tell me what your plan was tonight?
I didn't bring nothing with me. I didn't do nothing bad, and I would never force nobody to do anything against their will, sir.
But you did bring some things with you tonight.
I brought a razor.
A razor. And what were you going to do with the razor?
I thought she wanted to be shaved down there.
He's so confident in just saying that out loud. Like, most people would feel a little bit of shame to say something like that. I don't understand why he wants to do it to her instead of just, I'm trying to make logic out of just something that's illogical. That I keep remember, you can't divide by zero. You can't understand a PDF file.
And I thought she said she was 17 or something.
Well, I've got the transcript right here.
I believe that, sir.
He was told online she
All right, let's skip ahead a bit just so we have some edits in the video and they can't say we didn't transform it.
Find out if that was a cop, or so I didn't waste those.
Well, it sounds like what you're trying to see is if you could score with a 13-year-old girl.
No, sir.
I mean, have you chatted online with her?
No, sir. Really, I mean, as I said, don't feel bad for him. He's not retarded. He's not. He is not mentally handicapped. He is just physically handicapped, and you'll see that if you watch the police interview. I mean, he's maybe not as cognizant as me and you, but he's definitely not like, he's not, he might be a little on the autistic spectrum or something like that, but he knows what he's doing. 100% knows exactly what he's doing. You know, maybe has a low IQ, but he's not actually mentally handicapped.
Underage girls before?
Quite honestly, I had one time before.
A young girl.
Yeah.
She says he was chatting with a 14-year-old girl, and the girl's mother's boyfriend was a cop who found out about it and wanted to press charges.
It never went to trial. I apologized and everybody.
Did you plead guilty or no contest?
We didn't go to court. It was just over the phone and like, hey, I'm sorry. This is why I said that.
Was it a scary situation to you?
Yeah.
Did you learn your lesson?
Yeah.
Apparently not. I mean, you're here, so.
Tonight.
And I didn't, like I said, I wouldn't do nothing bad.
We heard you say all that stuff about hugging and kissing and calling that little girl sweetheart, even though I know she's 19. She ain't no little girl, but well, she is little, but you know what I mean. Not age wise. And You said all that stuff right there. And Chris Hansen was maybe like 5 feet away the entire time. He heard it. The cameras heard it. You're not going to walk out of this one.
You say, I want to
Not going to walk, period, to be fair.
make love to you. Have you ever seen people have sex?
It's just
Then you
curiosity.
send her a picture of people having sex.
I thought she asked for it.
She asked for it. She didn't ask for it. You sent it to her. And even if she did, I mean, you're not supposed to be sending stuff like that to somebody who says they're 13. But instead of taking responsibility, he tries to blame it all on the decoy.
She was wanting me to come up here and see her so bad, and I didn't want to disappoint.
It don't matter what she wanted. She's underage. She doesn't have a want or need at that point, especially not when it comes to a man. I'm not saying that a 13-year-old wouldn't want or need something, man. They need water, shelter, and they need that, and they might want video games, but you know what I mean by want and need. They don't have those type of needs or wants, or not legitimately, because like I've said in previous videos, you should not. I don't think having intercourse with anyone should be legal on period until you're 18. Like period. Like I'm saying, 2 16-year-olds should not be going at it, and neither should anybody under 18, because STDs or pregnancy, which it happens all the time. See, when I was growing up, just a very quick diversion from this, digression. When I was growing up, there was no teen pregnancy, at least in my school, right? Like when I graduated in 2007, which is about the time that this came out. So, I was graduating then, and I don't think there was like one person that even had a child or was knocked up. And it was like a black girl that was actually 21 but still in high school because she kept failing or something. I don't know if she eventually dropped out or graduated, but yeah, she had a baby, but she was 21 somehow, still in high school. I can't remember what her name was, but she was pregnant then. I don't know how old the father was, but it kind of doesn't matter because she was well above the thing. I think at 21 they kick you out of high school, though. It's like, at that point they just kind of give up on you. I think. I don't know if that's everywhere, just Virginia, but I think they just gave her one more chance, and who knows what happened to her. I don't even remember what her name was, but yeah, it just didn't happen back then, and for good reason. And this is one of the good reasons, because it's wrong.
Her.
You're a grown man.
I know.
What do you think should happen to you?
Don't know. I don't.
Well, there's something I got to tell you. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on adults who try to meet young teens online for sex.
It's all wrong in my part, but she led me on a little too.
It's not the girl's fault. It is never the victim's fault when it comes to this stuff. You had the power over her from being older, from a legal standpoint, from even a physical standpoint. I mean, that little girl is what, like 5 foot tall, 100 pounds. I don't know how tall he is. I think he was like 5. I'm just gonna throw a dart and say 5'8" and 200 pounds. Even as weak as he is, he could still grab her and hold her down and stuff, and do those sort of bad things that we can't talk about on YouTube. But anyway, he gets arrested, and we're gonna look at the aftermath now. Give me 1 second to flip over to our favorite website, the TCAP Wiki. Okay, and here we are at the TCAP Wiki. Dustin McPhetridge is, how old is he now? No, he's divorced? He got married? Really? I didn't know. Really? He got married at some point. Okay. No, had no idea. Okay, so he was a supermarket employee. I don't know what they got him doing. This is before, I think. Relatives, he had a mother and a sister. Oh, let's see, he was born in 1980, so around this, he probably would have been, what, 27? No, I don't know. 5'10", 360 pounds, so he's a big old boy, really big for 5'10". Let's see, he was 26. Okay, I was somewhat right. Cerebral palsy. Trying to see, sting and arrest, went to the sting house. I think that just tells you what happened on the To Catch a Predator episode. And then, don't want to disappoint her. Police interrogation. You need to watch that, because that is a really good interrogation. It's really great background noise. I might actually watch it with you sometime live, by the way. If you want to do like a live thing where we start watching the interrogations live or something like that and just react to them together, hit that like button and subscribe. That'll tell me that you want me to do that. Or you can just put in the comments just telling me, hey, I really want to watch those live shows. So I'm not going to go through the whole interrogation thing because it was about an hour-long video, and this probably just going to spoil it. But I want to go to the aftermath and sentence real quick right here. I want to get our favorite lovely lady, the robot, to read this to you really quick because she's a lot better than me. Let's hear it.
The Hawkins County Sheriff's Office was told that Dustin had admitted to having child pornography in his house, and on October 21, 2007, deputies searched his residence and discovered CDs with more than 100 child pornographic photos on them. 2. Dustin was charged with traveling across state lines to engage in illicit sexual contact, a felony. 3. 4. His bail was set at $50,000. Dustin requested during the hearing that he be placed in the custody of his mother. His request was denied. In 2008, Dustin was found guilty of the felony charge and was sentenced to 5 years in a federal prison with lifetime supervised sex offender registration. 1-4. After serving his Kentucky prison term for 2 years, Dustin was tried and convicted in Tennessee on a felony offense of sexual exploitation of a minor. The wheelchair-bound man appeared before Judge John Duggar in Hawkins County Circuit Court. Judge Duggar handed down an 8-year prison term to be served concurrently with the 5-year prison sentence he was already serving in Kentucky. Dustin also received a $500 fine and was placed on community supervision for the rest of his life. 2. After being released from prison in 2014, Dustin moved back to Seguinsville the following year. 5.
Okay, so that talked about the trial. I don't know exactly. That was a bit confusing, a bit muddy how many years he got and all of that. But if the sting happened, I believe it was 2007 is when this came out. I'm trying to see. I don't know. I'm just going to say he was in there for 7 years, but he did get a bunch more time after that. All right, so here is something where it actually continued even more right here. We're in the behind the scenes section that I'll let our lovely lady read to you as well. But he did get in some more trouble even after all of that, where he went to jail again or something. I think he was, he did some stuff. Yeah, he did some more stuff. Our boy, not our boy, or whatever you want to call him, our guy. I don't, you know what I mean. Anyway, let's hear it.
Dustin was scheduled to be back in court February 2020 due to probation violations, mainly as a result of being expelled from a court-mandated sex offender treatment program in 2019 because he wasn't making measurable progress. Counselors came to the conclusion that Dustin wasn't making an effort to change his conduct. His dishonesty included making up details regarding his affiliations. Although polygraph test results are not admissible as evidence in court, they are used to assess the honesty of participants in sex offender rehabilitation, and Dustin consistently failed the tests on 3 separate occasions. 2 alleged lies surfaced during a routine, post-examination interview in January 2019, when he was questioned if he had ever been completely alone with a juvenile and if he had ever seen pornography online. 5. A series of continuances have been given due to Dustin's health, COVID-19 concerns, and scheduling conflicts. He faces up to 3 years in prison. 5. Dustin was given yet another continuance September 2021 because his family had paid vacation plans.
Really? Really? They'll give you a continuance because you have vacation plans? Just think about this, though. Let's see if we can go back here and figure out what year this came out. Hold on a second. It says 2 years ago with no description. All right, I don't know if they actually tell you what the date of his arrest was, do they? All I want is a year. I don't even need a full thing. All right, I'm gonna go look it up really quick. Hold on a second. Okay, it was December 28th, 2007. So he spent, I'm guessing that'll be, 7 years then if he got out in 2014? Is that what it said? Yeah, 2014. So he was in jail for 7 years, pretty much for that sting and all of that stuff. And probably the rest of it was probation. And That's what they're talking about with having to go to treatment and all of that was because of that. So he got basically 7 years, but I thought he got 15, but I don't know. You know, it's just, it gets worse, but keep listening.
Recent photos show that Dustin uses a wheelchair. During examination of his counselor, he revealed that Dustin has spent the most time of any offender in the program because he either refuses to own the actions that led him to this point, or makes excuses on why he can't make any positive changes in his life. Dustin also gained the ire from his peers in his classes because they believed his rehabilitation to be a waste of time. Time that could be better invested in their recovery.
See, even your fellow PDF files are calling you out for just being a lazy bum and a POS, man. Bruh, I mean, just how bad do you have to be when the other people in your SA class, your SA offender class, are calling you out for being a lost cause? Good God, bro.
Recovery 6. During the interim, Dustin sent a letter to the judge involved in the case to be taken off probation, citing brain damage he supposedly incurred in 2017 from falling headfirst into a table and promising he would go to prison for life if he was charged with another sex offense and using having a supposed girlfriend as being sex offender treatment.
What? Hold on a second. Promising that he would go to prison for life if he was charged with another S offense and using having a supposed girlfriend as being SO treatment. Really? I don't think so, because the girl could be a creep too. She probably is. I mean, if a woman's with Dustin, oh God, can you imagine what she looks like? She probably is just she's probably a mountain of a woman. Let's be real.
He also asked to have his prohibition from the internet to be relaxed in order to learn skills to become a productive member of society and to make enough money to afford sex offender treatment as well as lower his cost of living.
How about you just crack open a book at the library or get your mama to go do it for you or your grandma or whoever you're with, bro? You don't need the internet to learn nothing. You can watch TV. You could get like, I'm not trying to say be a shill for anybody, but I'm guessing they have TV shows or those streaming. So, well, that's the internet. Never mind. I mean, I guess they still have History Channel and, you know, different shows and stuff. Maybe mama would just be able to get you like a subscription to Curiosity Stream or something. I mean, are they really going to bust down his door and say, hey, you can't watch, you know, educational programming on PBS, you know, something like that? I mean, they probably monitor and they know what goes on in that house, but at the same time, I mean, crack open a book, man. It's not that hard. You can go on Amazon and buy all that stuff or encyclopedias, or you can even, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to put the encyclopedias on like these interactive CDs, which were really cool actually back in the day. I don't know if they still do it or not. I doubt it, but I mean, if they do, there would probably just be a download, not a CD at this point. But I remember as a kid, I was really obsessed with, I think it was Compton's 95 or 96. I can't remember. But it was not because I was a nerd. Well, I was probably. I mean, I was only 5 or 6, so I guess I was a little nerdy. But now I fix computers for a living, so I guess I am one. But they came with this thing where they had this cool, really cool stuff like the music room where you could click on the different instruments and it would show you like sound samples of what the instruments sounded like and like someone performing it in like a 10-second clip. It was on like Windows 95, by the way. Those were so cool, man. You can find videos of those if you haven't ever seen them before. They're actually really neat, and they'd have little videos like very short documentary videos about like Hitler and stuff. You know, I'm nerdy in that, where I really do. One of my favorite memories was having an encyclopedia on a CD. Maybe you can go get one. The library is open, Dustin. I don't know if he's allowed to go there though, because I think sex offenders, let's just say the word, I think they may not be able to go to the library because kids. I haven't been to a library in years, but I used to love it before, because before the internet, you didn't have all this stuff. Like, you had to go to the library to go to the encyclopedia section and crack open a book. There was no Google in 1995 or whatever. Maybe there was some equivalent, but I mean, to my 5-year-old brain and us having dial-up, you know, in 1999 or whatever it was, you know, I don't think we even thought about any of that. I think Yahoo was the big thing when it came out. Like, it was really huge. Like, we just remember the commercials of like the guys singing the Yahoo, that thing. Remember that? It's a shame that Yahoo went down the drain and Google got big. But because I always thought Yahoo was kind of neat. I remember getting my first Hotmail account. My dad still has a Hotmail account, believe it or not, and they still have those old accounts that people keep with these dial-up, companies that are still alive somehow. I guess because, out in the country, that's the best you can still get is when you're, 20 miles, like 10, 15 miles out of town, you're not going to get broadband. So, but they're starting to clean that up with HughesNet and satellite internet and whatever my stepsister has now, because she's way out there in the boondocks. I mean, I'm not quite in the boondocks, but I'm close enough. But she's way out there. Like, we're talking like 25 miles away from everything, with a big giant house. So she's doing well for herself. But anyway, let's finish this really quick. I'm sorry I went on a little tangent about the family. That's why you watch this show, because you get little extra bits that you don't hear anywhere else. So, let's go ahead and hear it.
Dustin broke his probation when he was caught talking to a group of teenage girls in a video game store and was brought back into court once again.
Really? I mean, really? He went to a game. Oh my God. Where's his mother? Where's his mama? Why did they let him go to a GameStop? I mean, I don't know why anyone. Oh my God.
Again. He once again wrote a letter to the judge in March of 2022, complaining about his treatment and therapy, saying that he should be getting one-on-one therapy sessions instead of group therapy. He also mentions that he is out of money. He concludes the heartfelt letter with, "If I could access a gun, I'd end my suffering and kill myself."
Good. You sent that to a judge and you're probably going to go to the nut house now. You said that to a cop and he will 5150 you on the spot. I guarantee it. Because I think the cops are basically, I'm pretty sure if you tell a shrink who is supposed to be, confidential with everything you tell them, if you tell them that you're going to off yourself, that they are required by law to report it to law enforcement. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to. I don't say that all of them do. They probably don't. But I think there is some type of issue where if someone says that to an authority figure, whether it be a cop or, a therapist or whoever, or the judge especially, you're going to end up in the nut house probably. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Myself. This clearly bothered the judge. The outcome of the court hearing was that although Dustin will not have to go back to prison, he must remain under court-supervised parole for the rest of his life, along with his lifetime RSO status.
RSO? What is... I'm trying to think of. Hold on, let me look it up. It's gonna bother me if I don't know what R is. I'm sure it's what they call the registry, but I'm just gonna say it's the registry of S offenders. But I really am dense. It was obviously registered S offenders. What was that? What was that thing? It has to be that anyway.
Status. Chris Hansen found Dustin's phone number and gave him a call. Dustin answered the phone, and upon hearing Chris's voice, he exclaimed, "Don't call me."
Was this filmed? I need to know if this was filmed. Hold on. I have to see if this is filmed. Once again, be right back. Sorry, you'll see it in an instant, though. All right, asking I shall receive. I couldn't find a tape of him being at a GameStop, but I did find a tape or a clip of Chris calling him on the phone during this. So let's hear it real quick.
Dustin will finally abide by these court orders. His sentence. Remember that he first was arrested back in 2007 in Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. What does Dustin have to say about all this? Well, I recently obtained his cell phone number and I gave him a call.
Hello.
Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
It's Chris Hansen. How are you today?
Don't call me.
As you can hear, he hung up pretty quick, and I wanted to make sure that he knew I was just wanting to hear from him, to give him time to explain his dilemma, what his life has been like since he became one of the predators I've caught. But in the next phone call, he makes it pretty clear he does not want to hear from me again.
I told you not to call.
Dustin, I'd just like to talk to you about your situation. And
no, thank you. Do not call me again or it will be harassment.
There it goes. Well, that's not good. That's really bad, actually. So I believe that is the end of our episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode that'll release tomorrow, I believe, around noon or so. So you'll see it in your notifications, hopefully. Check out the rest of the playlist if you haven't. I'm going to just start uploading one a day just to let people catch up, since there is so much to catch predator stuff on this channel now that there's a decent backlog for people to actually binge now. So I'm going to slow the uploads down just a bit to 1 or 2 videos a day, just so YouTube has time to catch up. Okay, thank you for watching. Join my mailing list and all, or Twitter, Discord server, all that fun stuff. It is in the description under the link tree that says follow me next to it. You can join the Discord server. You can join my mailing list. You can do all sorts of stuff through that link tree. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care for now, everyone.